Hi there, it's Miss Butler here. Hope you're all well and I hope you've all settled in to starting your new learning journey at home. Today's story is one of my favourite stories and it's one that you probably have read before, and it's Peace at Last by Jill Murphy. The hour was late. Mr. Bear was tired. Mrs. Bear was tired. And Baby Bear was tired. So they all went to bed. Mrs. Bear fell asleep straight away, but Mr. Bear didn't. Look at his tired eyes. Mrs. Bear began to snore. Went Mrs. Bear. "Oh no," said Mr. Bear. "I can't stand this." So he got up and went to sleep in Baby Bear's room. I wonder if that's going to be any better. Baby Bear was not asleep either. He was lying on his bed, pretending to be an aeroplane. "Meow," went Baby Bear. "Meow, meow." "Oh no," said Mr. Bear. "I can't stand this." So he got up and went to sleep in the living room. I wonder what noises there might be in the living room. Can you think of any? Tick tock went the living room clock. Tick tock, tick tock. Cuckoo, cuckoo. "Oh no," said Mr. Bear. "I can't stand this." So he tried to go to sleep in the kitchen. I hope he gets to sleep soon. The kitchen wasn't any better. Drip, drip, went the leaky kitchen tap. Went the refrigerator. "Oh no," said Mr. Bear. "I can't stand this." So he got up and he went to sleep in his garden. I wonder what things make noises in the garden at night. Can you think of any? I can think of a few. Well, you would not believe what noises there are in the garden at night. "Tweet-twoo, tweet-twoo," went the owl. "Sniffle, sniffle, sniffle, sniffle," went the hedgehog. "Meow," sang the cats on the wall. What do you think Mr. Bear's going to say? "Oh no," said Mr. Bear. "I can't stand this." So he went off to sleep in his car. I wonder if the car will be a nice place to sleep. It was cold in the car and uncomfortable, but Mr. Bear was so tired that he didn't even notice. He was just falling asleep when all the birds started to sing and the sun peeped in at the window. "Tweet, tweet, tweet, tweet," went the birds. "Shine, shine," went the sun. What's he going to say? "Oh no," said Mr. Bear. "I can't stand this." So he got up and decided to go back into his house. When he got back in the house, Baby Bear was fast asleep, and Mrs. Bear had turned over and wasn't snoring any more. Mr. Bear got into his bed and just was closing his eyes Ah, peace at last, he said to himself. I wonder if he is going to get peace at last. I hope he does. Went the alarm clock. Mrs. Bear sat up and rubbed her eyes. Good morning, dear, she said. Did you sleep well? What do you think Mr. Bear's going to say? Not very well, dear, yawned Mr. Bear. Never mind, said Mrs. Bear. I'll bring you a nice cup of tea. And she did. And there's Mr. Bear, still looking very, very tired. Did Mr. Bear ever get to sleep that night? Which different places did he visit to try and get to sleep? Can you remember? And can you remember any of the noises that they could hear in each of the different places? Poor Mr. Bear. I hope tomorrow he gets a better night's sleep. That's the story of Peace at Last. Thank you very, very much for tuning in to hear that story. Look after yourselves and hopefully I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.